Hello, hello, Coach MC. Welcome.
Hi, Kohila. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm so excited to meet you today and talk about your article on our February issue. So thank you for contributing to that. And those
You're
of
welcome.
you who are listening, Coach MC and other coaches have contributed to this article, this magazine, which is the Learning, Living, and Leading. Those of you who've been following us, it was called Parenting, Learning, and Living. Now that we have expanded it, our business into serving all humans of all ages and at all stages, we now expanded our magazine as well. It's called Learning, Living, and Leading. So on the February issue, we are ending trying harder, try harder, because
Yes.
we all had enough of trying hard, right? MC, what do
Yes.
you think? We have been trying hard and harder and harder.
Yes. And for a long time.
Yes, it's about time to end that. So that's why we wanted to share about the Readiness OS. And I'm so excited. I've been bringing so many different coaches, but today it is Coach MC's turn. So if you haven't got this magazine or never read this magazine, you can read it by there's a link below this video. You can click the link, and there is a password. It's flow, all capital letters, FLOW. So it's flow, all capital. If you click that, then you can read it. I think one of the LinkedIn, we stopped live streaming. That's what came up, so I had to read it. Anyway, so if you haven't read it, click the link and get the article and all the other articles. Sorry, all the other issues that we have written are also in that link as well. So when you go there, you'll be able to read it. I'm just gonna add LinkedIn again. So MC, just give me a sec.
No problem.
Okay, that should have worked. Yeah, it worked. Okay, awesome. Because I want this to be on LinkedIn too. So it was coming off of it for some reason. Okay, some technical difficulties in life, right? Sometimes it happens. It
Yes.
happens. So there we are. So now we have gone through with all the technical difficulties. Let's bring ourselves here and now because that is so important, right, Coach MC? If we're not here and now, we can't do anything.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So those of you who are watching, who've been watching for, maybe for the past week and a half, I've been talking about the past. We love to think about the past. Every one of us, every single day we think about our past. We want it or not, it just comes and pull us into it, and it wants to replay, it wants to you to listen to it, it wants to talk about it. So if we keep going there, you can see that it doesn't give us the opportunity to be here and now because we're thinking about the past. So,
Mhm.
what is the only thing we can do, Coach MC, with the past?
Well, we can bless it and we can thank it because it has, taught us some lessons, but it also taught us how to sometimes let go of the past and thank it for the lessons and try to bring it to now.
Yes, exactly. So we have to let it go. And only thing we can take, just like Coach MC just said, just take the lessons. That's only that's available. Just take the lesson, extract the lessons, and let go of the past. Now, if we think about our future, the other side is the future, right? So most of us think about our future. It's good to think about our future. Only problem is most of us, what do we do? When we think about our future, we are projecting the past onto it. We look at from that lens of the past. Whatever happened, we normally think, oh, if that happened in the past, it might happen again. What if
Mhm.
this happens? What if that happens? What if I fail again like I did last time? So when we put all of those things onto the future, we cannot let the future happen to us. We are recreating almost
The
the past, right?
Yeah.
It's almost pretty much like the past. So in order for you to achieve and have a different future, you really have to bless it and let go of the future too. You have to release it because there's no point in producing it from the past projected onto it. It doesn't make sense. So that's why we release the future, we let go of the past. Look what happens now. I have both of my hands.
Yes.
Now, with these two hands, I can create, I can make, I can create. They're right here. And my brain is also focused in what? Now and here. So now we can create. So that's why this is so important. So every time your mind is going to the past, to the future, try to bring yourself to now and here. Just even anchoring your hand like this, it just shows you that I'm now here. I'm now at this place. So
Yes.
why do we need to be now and here? Because this is the place you can learn. This is the place you can live.
Yes.
This is the place you can lead yourself and others. If you're not here, then we cannot do any of these things. And without living, learning, and leading, there is not much in life, right, Coach MC?
No, yes, exactly.
There isn't much to life. The life becomes sort of stuck in the past
Hmm.
or scared about the future. So that's why what do you do to bring yourself now in here? Was there any exercises do you do to bring yourself to now and here to just settle in?
I have come to really, really like breathing. And it's
Love
something
it.
that when I go to work, I even do in my car. And it just helps me to like regulate my system, regulate myself so that when I go in the building to teach, I'm in the now. I'm not stuck in the past or the future.
Yeah.
So I really like to breathe. Yeah.
And a lot of people watching us might say, well, that's not a big deal. We breathe all the time. I breathe every day. No, the breathing that we're talking about is deeper. It's more focused, more consciously. You're doing it. You're actually sending that breath all over your body. That makes you relax. That makes you think about the breath because normally we all breathe, but we're not paying any attention to it because it's so gift. It's a gift to us. So we take it for granted almost, right?
Yes.
So this time we want you to really feel these next three breaths. Let's do
Yeah.
it. So let's inhale for 4, hold for 4, and let go through your mouth for 8. Just let everything go from today, from yesterday, any stress, any fear, any sadness, anything that's stuck anywhere in your body, just let it go through your mouth so it goes out. That's it. So let's
Hmm.
take an inhale again. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, and then let go for 8. Everything, something you're worrying about, something you're worried and fearful or anxiety, whatever you're holding in your, it might be in your shoulders, it might be in your neck, it might be in your lower back, it might be on somewhere you're feeling, just let it go through your mouth. Important to feel those points, right? Sometimes when we feel the pain in our body or wherever stress is stored, and breathing as if we're breathing that out really helps, right? It really helps. So let's do that one more time. So inhale for 4, hold for 4. Now let go for 8 through your mouth. And you can make a sound, you can move your hand, just let it go. So this is really important because breathing brings us back to now and here because we got to pay attention, focus, right? So that's why it's really good. So now today I have Coach MC because I want to ask her about her article, which is
Hmm.
a magazine, which you have the link below this video. So make sure to get that and read that. But today I wanted to ask her some questions about it. So you said in the article, 2 days before returning from a stress leave, your chest tightened,
Hmm.
right? You were explaining.
Yes.
What was that moment really revealing to you at that moment?
That was a very powerful moment because that's when I realized that even though I really, really love teaching, that there was something missing. There was something that was not right.
Hmm.
And like even though that like I've been doing this for many years, and I've done all kinds of workshops and training and basically try to acquire all the skills that I could have. Something was just not right, and that's when I realized that like you can push as much as you want. You can plan as much as you want. You can be as prepared as you want, but like when there's that tiny thing missing, things just don't feel right. There's just like the a block of some sort, right? And um and that's when I realized that like I can have all the tools in the world, I can have all the knowledge in the world, uh and but there's just like the safety was not there. and I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe, and I think that I didn't realize that's what it was. I realized it afterwards, but that safety just meant that I could try and push and do everything that I could or that I wanted that wasn't like my skills and possession, but it was just not going through. It was just not flowing like a river, like we say. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you either. You can hear me? I can't hear you. So hold on. Yeah, no, my volume is all the way up. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Ah, yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay. Sorry about that. Again,
That's okay.
another technology glitch. Something's happening, but you can
It's
hear me.
all
I
good.
can hear you. So I was just asking, when did you realize it wasn't a burnout and it was misalignment?
Um, I think I think it's when I got back into school, and of course, like I had some time to, like physically bring myself back, and I felt good. And then when I got back into the teaching, and when I realized like there's something going on, like I could see that even though I was doing all kinds of stuff and rethinking things like the way I teach and stuff like that, some students were still not responding, and then I was like, okay, something's not right. It's not just me. It's not, like, and it's I couldn't put my finger on it at that time. And then going through like the coaching program, and then I was in it when I was going back to work after my break, and then learning about being myself, putting myself into a flow mode and being ready, being conscientious about me and my energy and things like that. That's when I realized like it's the students are in the same boat. It's not just me. Like the whole system is like that, and that's when I was like, okay, something is not right. And then like the readiness came up, with the coaching, and I was like, okay, that's that's what it is. Like there's a safety missing for the teachers. There's a safety missing for the students. And when you don't have that safety, you can try to push as much content as you want on students, but if they're not safe and they're not ready, it looks like they're learning, but really they're not. Yeah.
Yes. So as a holistic neurogrowth success coach, how did that change you when you went back into the classroom?
I started to see things in a much different way because every time that a student was misbehaving in the past, it was okay, what am I doing wrong? What's going on? Like, is there something that I need to change? something I need to, like adapt, modify, or in some way of shape or form. Now, and at that point, it was okay, what is really going on with that particular student? What is missing? What is blocked that brings that behavior? And so I started to teach in a much different way, and I started to see students in a much different way as well.
Mm.
And I started to, I actually stopped, not started, but I stopped like having the misbehavior a projection of what I was doing and if I was doing it right or wrong. And so I started to, like look at things in a different way. And then it was okay, well, maybe this student needs a body break. And well, if that student needs a body break, maybe all of them could use a body break and just like, change the environment, go for a walk. And that's what I'm doing now. It's like, okay, midway through our, teaching period, and the students know, they'll ask, can we have a body break? And I can also see the energy. And sometimes when I realize and I can read the room, I will go, okay, you know what? Looks like, we need a break. And so let's go for a body break. Go for a walk, go to the washroom and stuff. So the way that behavior wise, I would, instead of taking it as a projection of me, I would see it in a different way. Or if a student is doing some paper pencil work and it looks like things are going well, and I would go around and observe a little bit more closely, then I would go, it looked like they were listening attentively, that they understood from just their facial expression, body language. But yeah, no, something's not right. Okay, so let's dig a little deeper in that. And then I would start to ask questions. And then, but I would know the kind of questions to ask to figure out what is really going on.
Mhm.
So it really changed the way that I see things, the way I do things, the way I teach. So I'm not saying that it's perfect, because every day is a new day, and some students can wake up one day and something happens at home and or on the bus, they didn't have breakfast, anything can just put a little curve into their path. But now I try to see it in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So, when did you notice you were compensating for something that wasn't yours to carry yourself?
Ooh, compensating. I think quite a few things. When I was trying to make everything perfect, right? It was how how can I do things and put time and energy and rethink models and rethink lessons and try like put so much energy
Mm.
into it that like I realized, wait a minute, like there's only so much that I can put onto myself to be a good teacher.
Mm.
That's a portion of it. A lot of it comes from the other end. And are there things that I can control or not control, or maybe things that I can, look at it in a different way? But I started to, like I would internalize everything onto me. It was like everything was a projection of me. Like they're not succeeding. Well, I must be doing something wrong. They're not behaving. I must be doing something wrong. And it was
Mm.
always like piling everything onto my shoulders. And then I realized through the coaching certification that there's only so much I can carry. My suitcase is
Mm.
only so big.
Mm.
And, there's no point trying to pile on things that I can't control. But are there things that I can modify? Are there things I can look in a different way? So, and I think there's a lot of, and I think it comes with the teaching. Like you go into this because you have a passion, you care for people,
Mm.
and then you end up caring so much that you take in, take in, take in, and then it becomes to a point where your jar is full and you can't take anymore.
Mm.
But you still try, and that's when you realize I can't continue like that. It's exhaustion.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what did you have to unlearn? What belief did you have to unlearn?
I my big belief I had to unlearn is the perfectionism. It was one of those things where everything had to be like done to a T. And I thought if I come to class and I have all my ducks lined up and everything is ready to go, perfect, everything's going to go well. To then realize not the case. So that was a big thing that I had to unlearn. And I'm still unlearning it. There are still some times where I catch myself and I go, wait a minute, like, is it realistic? Is like what's going on? Like, so
What
there
about
are
the
some
belief?
days.
What
What's
about
that?
what about the belief pushing equals support? Did you have that belief in the article? You said push through, pushing equals support belief.
Yes, yes, big time, and yeah, and I, you're not supporting your own self by always pushing through. And
Yes.
I think a lot of students are like they get to the point like they're just pushing, 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 because I think that there's this pressure as well coming from the
Yes.
parents, from the school system. It's like go, 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 and then for them too, they can only take so much, and then when is this glass jar full of pebbles and sand going to explode because you're just trying to pack everything in?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was it costing you when you push when you had that equation where push
It
equals support? What was costing you?
well, it costs a lot with my, immediate environment. Like there was a lot of times where I probably should have support my own daughter, and when she needed help, when she needed me as a mom, and I was so caught up in this other life that I wasn't there for her.
Mhm.
And then so and like, and with even with my friends and my family, it was just one of those, no, I need, I can't do this right now because this is what I need to do. This you know I need to have this ready for Monday. And I would spend hours on the weekend getting things ready, and to now realize, even if something was not perfect, and big deal. Like, we take it as it goes, and like, and if we get so much done in one day of teaching, that's it, because there's only so much I can give of myself and energy, but there's also so much the students can get. And at the same time, this means that I do have some time and energy for my daughter, for my family. So yeah.
So what was the hardest part to release? Perfectionism, people pleasing, overgiving, or needing validation?
Wow.
That's a list, huh? That's a list.
That's a list. I'm
How
gonna
many of
say,
how many of you listening have been a perfectionism was part of your life or still is? People
yeah,
pleasing,
yes,
right? And
yeah.
overgiving
Hmm.
and needing validation.
I think the validation is a big one. I think the
Something
validation is,
followed up by imposter syndrome could join with needing validation. Go ahead. Yes.
yeah. I think the validation kind of like is like the umbrella over all of those. because I think that by having or reaching, trying to reach the perfectionism, I was going to get validation. By pleasing, being a people pleaser, I was going to get validation. So all of these are coming all up to the validation thing.
When
And
you got
now,
there, what happened? When you felt like there was validation, what happened? You're then worthy, like you felt whole or worthy. Like what was the result of validation?
so well, so there's, well, yeah, you know, like, I mean, sometimes you get people go and say to you like, oh my gosh, you're so organized, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you should see my house. Yes, I look very organized, but you know, there are some things that I am not organized. Or you know, people would say things, and as you're receiving it, it's kind of nice, but at the same time, at the back of your mind, you're going, yeah, but. And there's always that yes, but. And then I realized that, you know, trying to get all the validation is not worth it when in the back of your mind you always have that but. So now it's more like, okay, you know, how can I, you know, just do things in a way where I'm not going to burn myself. Um, the validation is not going to come from outside. It's going to come from me. I'm going to set a goal. And, you know, if I reach 50% of it, you know what? I'm happy with it now. I don't have to reach that 100%.
Mm.
And the validation is coming from me. I don't need the external one anymore.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Oh, of course, of course. You came home to yourself. That's part
Yeah.
of our readiness OS is coming back to our own self because a lot of the time we externally looking for things because we're not home. No one's home here.
Yeah.
Here we need to come home to ourselves, right? So then everything feels solid.
Yeah.
So the validation part, those of you who are listening, you might be seeking this out there too. But the return is to come back to you
Hmm.
and to look from here, within here. It's always going to be within. So perfectionism, that's a big one, right?
Hmm.
And then validation can also, as I said, can be very closely associated with imposter syndrome. You're never
Yes.
good. What am I worthy of or good enough, right? All of that comes together. So it's a very, that is a list. It's definitely a list.
Yes.
And it can fit many educators. I think many
Yes.
educators fit all of those categories.
I think so, and I think it comes with the profession, right? And you know, you see your students succeed, and you go, "Oh, I did a good job." And in one way, okay, yes, you know, you did a really good job, but maybe you did a good job at making your students feel safe to learn, making your students see being seen, and that's probably more empowering, or it probably has more value, because really when you look at it and when you think about it, you know, if I go back to when I was in grade 5, 6, I don't remember really what I learned and what I did in class. But do I remember the teacher and how I felt in that class? Was I welcome? Was I being safe? Was I being okay with saying an answer? And you know, so what if I'm wrong? I'm going to learn from it, right? It was not, you know, this constant like, I'm not going to say anything because what are people going to think about me? You know, what are my peers going to think about me? And so I think that at the end of the day, the person connection is really important, and that's where I'm trying to see or seek my validation in one way. Is, you know, if I made somebody welcome in my class, and they felt safe and they felt ready to learn, then I think I did my job. Because after that, the learning comes flows, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct of all of that. So what scared you about slowing down? I guess in the article you were talking about some speed. Speed was another thing that you were
Hmm.
talking about, right? Everything needs
Yeah.
to happen at a certain time. So when you learn to slow down, what was scary about that?
I I thought I was going to kind of lose control in
Mm.
one way. And I'm going to say maybe like not getting to everybody else's point, like not getting, okay, I need to slow down my lessons because I can see that there's something missing. And it's not the content, but there's something missing with the students. And so if I slow down, this means that I'm probably not going to teach everything that I'm supposed to. But at the end of the day, what's the point trying to push all the content if it's if they're not ready for that? So it was always, I kind of tried to see it in a way where, the speed in class, for example, it's like, I'd rather slow things down and know that when I delivered some content, that the students were ready for it, and what they got from me, they actually internalized it really well, than to try to just push twice as much stuff and it just goes right through.
Yes.
so so
So you allowed yourself to slow down.
I allowed myself to slow down, myself in my personal life and at school as well. Yes, and if and in my personal life, it meant, okay, I have a list of things to do. I would love to do them all, but what's the point if I do them all, but then I'm exhausted and I don't have energy for myself or energy for my friends and family? So maybe I just need to slow things down, do so much, be happy with it, not exhaust myself, still have my own energy, my, physical energy and mental energy, that then I can also focus on other things that are important instead of always pushing them aside. And that's something that I did a lot, push a lot of stuff aside, push a lot of people aside because I had to go, and it was like,
But also, you said earlier the perfectionism along with that would have been harder because everything you've done had to be to the perfect standards.
yes,
So that you need to push even harder. You can't slow down because perfectionism has to happen all the time with
yeah,
everything. So
yeah.
how can have any time to slow down? And speed is the only way to keep up with it. But it's a race, right? It's a race you never stop.
It's one of those things that when you look at the speed and when you look at the perfectionism, the people pleasing, it almost gets into this big spiral
Yeah.
that can just get out of control, and you just need to go and slow it down, just like stop the burn, like throw some water on it.
That's why the first step to any change is awareness, right? Just figuring out what are you doing, right? Because a lot of the time we notice what other people are doing, but we don't take the time to notice what are we doing.
Exactly.
So when we start applying that to ourselves, we see so many different loops that we create and
Mhm.
equate to. They're equated to, like, one thing could be equated to another thing. Like you said,
Yeah.
perfectionism was validation, right? Equated to validation.
Hmm.
People pleasing, validation. Overgiving, validation, right? So the equation carries forward and the
Oh,
loop stays active. But then the minute you become aware, you go, oh, there I go again.
yeah.
Oh, here I go again. Look at me doing that again for the 15th time today. Look at me. And then
Yeah.
you can have your conversations with yourself about
Hmm.
the loop you're traveling in and you can notice it. So, yeah, we're really good at pointing at other people's flaws or their loops. It's our loops that we need to focus on,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you can never change anybody, right?
No.
You can only change yourself. You only have control over your brain. You only have control over your soul print biology. So you can only
Yeah.
change. So
Yeah.
if readiness has been protected in your classroom, what would have looked different?
Hmm. What would have looked different? Um, I think that uh, the I've seen a lot of students with a lot of anxiousness, and always try to overperform, try to reach a certain level of, grades and, like accomplishment, where it was like, okay, like this is what you want to do. Let's go. Let's push through it. And now it's like, okay, hold on. So what is, like, why, just asking questions, right? Asking questions
Curiosity.
to, yes,
Nice.
what makes you want to, and where does it come from? And instead of seeing students being, over anxious, like super anxious and stressed, and like come in class, and you can tell right off the bat if they are, what state they are. And I mean, I teach high schoolers, so sometimes, like sometimes you see it more or better than, some other ages. But they're really vocal as well. And sometimes they'll come to my class and they would be like, oh my gosh, like we have a test after your class, and they're like way up here. And I'm like, okay, there's, like, I'm going to teach something and it's not going to go well because their mind is already in the future and stressing over that test. And so now and I saw that a lot. I saw a lot of students not come to school because, and it was, oh, somebody's absent. Yeah, because we have a math test today and decided not to come.
I
Oh,
did that.
okay.
I used to do that because
And
test was very stressful time for me because I didn't understand a lot of stuff in school when I was younger. So
mhm,
for me, I need to find a way to escape.
yeah, yeah. Or the other thing too is what I saw a lot is students who would come to see me, and the lesson didn't even start, the period didn't even start, and they would ask right away, can I go work somewhere else? Okay, what's going on? So they, instead of being able to be in class and be ready and have that readiness to be in class, it was always kind of like you said, the escape. I'm not going to be in class. I'm going to go work in the library. I'll do the work, but I'll do it there. But that you're missing the support. You're missing, oh, maybe I was unclear about something, and now you're not in a class. And if I clarify something, you're missing that. And so then you come back and, yeah, I didn't understand this. Okay. So there was, so the readiness not being in class brought a lot of, external factors into the actual learning portion. uh, Readiness not being there for me also brought in a lot of factors with me not being fully there for my students.
But also,
And
when we assume, right, as the education system, as teachers, we assume that the child or the person in front of us is ready to learn,
yes,
but we forget that that person is a living system. It's a
hmm,
biologically living system, and it's every variable affects us, the system, and who knows what variables affected them before the class or affecting them throughout their life,
yes,
and what is happening inside of their body. Who knows any of that stuff? We just think, okay, let's perform. Let's go
yeah,
and perform. Let's go output. Give me output. I'm giving you input. Why don't you give me the output? So when we're at that stage we're just looking for output, right? As teachers, we're
Yeah.
like looking for output because we have curriculum to finish. We have our own deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
We have to follow through. So we don't ask if they're ready. That shift alone makes a big difference. Just because at that point curiosity comes alive inside
Mm-hmm.
anyone. The minute you ask, is this person ready? Is this system ready? Is this person in front of me ready to go?
Yeah.
Just like we would ask, like we would check a plane. Is this plane ready to take off? We don't just take off and on the runway or up in the air, figure out, okay, something's broken now. I should have checked it
Yeah.
before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we check it before we do all of that, right? So here, as a human being, we don't have that state. We don't have a phase where we are doing that. There's nothing available to us. We just come. We're assumed we're coming ready to learn, ready to
Yeah.
do things, and at work too. If you're at work, if somebody's at work right now, if they're an employee, that's what's expected. You come, you
Mm.
will work, but you have lots of things going on in your life. You
Yes.
could have just had a fight. You could have just not had sleep all night. You could have just had something wrong with your body. It just, we don't expect that. It carries into our workplace later in the life. It
Mm-hmm.
starts at school, then
Yeah.
carries into work and life. So
Yeah.
readiness is really, really just asking that question first is the readiness, right? Number one is
Yeah.
to ask the question: is this person ready?
Yeah.
Do they look ready? Do they sound ready?
Mm-hmm.
Is their body signaling ready? Because sometimes someone might look and say ready, but their signal is not ready,
No.
right? So we
Yeah.
have to look at how is their body speaking to us.
Yeah.
And then when they are ready, then we can give them the input and expect output from them, and they're going to do it. And it
Yeah.
makes the job easy for a teacher or anyone who's working with them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
readiness looks like in the classroom when child is sitting ready learning, like they're hungry to learn, they're
Mm-hmm.
motivated to learn, they're asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when readiness is not there, it's what we see right now in the
Mm-hmm.
classroom.
Yeah.
It's behaviors.
It's the behavior. Yeah. It's the anxiety. It's the stress. It's the depression. There's so many
Avoidance.
things.
Avoidance, right?
Yes.
Avoidance.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Or
I
shutting
mean,
down, completely
mm-hmm.
shut down. We don't even know why they're shutting down, right? So
Yeah.
there's so many things going on. Some of you might be listening going, well, students are supposed to learn. That's kind of their duty. Like you're a student, you're supposed to learn. Well, I'm sure you can tell me that when I was young, if somebody told me that is your duty is to learn, I would have been like, yeah, I'm trying, but it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get to it. Just
Yes.
because you tell me certain words that I should live by, I don't know. My body and my brain are not working.
Mm-hmm.
They're not cooperating. I'm trying. It's like
Yeah.
it's like people saying, be in positive mindset. So when I was growing up, I always told myself, okay, positive mindset, positive mindset.
Yes.
Come on, pick up the positive mindset.
Yeah.
And
And
then
one and
right.
one thing that when we started this semester at the start of February, one thing I did with my class is I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really powerful because I showed them how your brain will believe whatever.
Oh yeah.
So it was okay. I just cut lemons and I just gave you a half a lemon. It's fresh. I just cut it. It's in your hand. You're looking at it. You can smell it. And and I because I just cut it. Yeah, there's even some lemon juice like that's running down your hand, and now I want you to imagine that you're taking a big bite out of the lemon and what happens. And some students were like, and then one of my students raised his hand and he's like, I don't know, but for me, like in my mouth, I started like saliva started to produce a bit
I
more.
did. When you were explaining, I started producing it.
Exactly. So I said, there you go. I said, it doesn't matter that you have or not the lemon. If you just think about it, your brain will actually take it as a truth. So I said, what I want you guys to do is to stop saying to yourself, I'm bad at math. I'm not good in French, or this and that. Because the more you say and think that, this is a belief that your brain is going to, just imprint. It's going to imprint in your brain. So instead, think in a different way. Just say, well, I don't know this yet, or I don't understand yet, but it's going to come because I am good at math. I just need to figure this out, but I am good. I'm getting there. And I think that was kind of enlightening for the students, and some of them, anyways.
Empowering. Yeah, definitely, it empowers them because
Hmm.
we don't have education where we teach about our brain and how it works and how it talks to us, and we can talk to it, and it doesn't own us. We own it, right? We don't have education.
Hmm.
If we
Yeah.
had it, then we would be in control of it
Hmm.
instead of listening to it, right?
Yeah.
So who
That
were
was my whole
you?
point. Yeah.
Yeah, who were you when you were performing?
Not me. I was told something, somebody different. It was kind of putting a mask on my face. It was just, like, being some kind of an actor. And, and then it was one of those where it's like, yeah, why am I doing this? That's not me. Like, I need to come back to my true self. I need to come back to, like, believing in me, thinking in a different way, taking care of me, instead of just always like have this, like this mask of, yeah, I'm good, I'm fine, and when I'm not. And now it's like, if my energy is down, like even today, I had a headache for most of the day, and students came in, and today it was, hey, madam, how are you? And usually I would go, oh, I'm all right, I'm good, thank you. And today was like, not that great. I have a headache, my energy is down, and, oh, well, me too. And just be honest about it, because we're human beings. And so I try to be more of my true self.
Awesome. Love it.
Um, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So,
And
who are you
yeah.
now that you choose alignment over approval? I guess you answered that. You are yourself. You came home to yourself.
Yes.
Finally
And
arrived.
And a couple weeks ago, I was having a chat with my principal, and same principal as last year. And it was the end of the semester, first semester. And one of her comment was, things seem to look much better this year for you, like with the students, with yourself, and I was thinking, yes, because I changed a lot of things. I changed how my brain thinks. I changed how I see things, and
How I
it
notice,
just
how I
what's
notice,
that?
how I notice. I'm curious. I'm
Mm-hmm.
home. I'm home.
Yeah,
I'm home. Right.
yeah,
I'm home to myself. Yes.
yeah. And that was the big. Oh, you know what? That was a validation, but in a different way, not from
That's almost a
external.
closure. That's a closure, confirmation. It's a
Yes.
confirmation that you arrived and people are noticing. You
Yeah.
don't need to validate anymore. People
Mm.
are telling you that
Yeah.
you're home.
Mm-hmm.
Before when you had the mask, you were looking for validation. This was you never asked. You never
Yeah.
worked for it. You were
No.
just in yourself. You were
Yeah.
just happy with yourself. You were just experiencing yourself. Therefore, other people noticed that experience and saw you whole
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
that's
I like it. It was one of those days where I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm so grateful that I found you, and I found this program. And because it's like, yes, this is what I needed for myself, because we go through the whole, readiness first, but also as something that I can bring out to people. And I see so many people in need.
That's why
So.
I always start off with the readiness part for the coaches coming in. Anybody who's coming through our program, you know that I don't let them take the business building component because that's not even necessary. That more important is for you to come home first,
Mhm.
because without it, you can't build a business. You can't build anything if you're
No.
not home. It's a vacant from a vacant place. You can't build anything, so you got to come home first. That's the first step. So when you come home, you can do anything. You can achieve anything.
And the fact that as coaches we experienced this bringing things home, being, bringing the readiness, then it just makes our or see our work even more powerful because we lived it. So we know what it can change in a person and how things can, like be so different when there's so many blocks, and you can show people how to identify those blocks and break those blocks, and like bring awareness and readiness and the whole thing. And yeah, this is so powerful to go through it. You're on your own self and you
Yes.
see what it can bring.
Because
So
that
mm,
conviction that you just mentioned, that conviction is what makes a confident coach. And
mm,
without confidence, you cannot lead others, right? So
yeah,
conviction comes first. And for me, that was the most important part for you to learn in this, more than the business, because business is just steps. They're just
yeah,
steps.
yeah.
You just apply them as steps, proven steps. You just take them. If you have a proven step somebody can show you, that's easy. But
Hmm.
conviction, if it's missing, it doesn't matter who gives you what world's best anything,
Yeah.
not going to happen
Yeah,
because we
there's
don't
some
have the confidence.
people, like looking at others building some online businesses and go, okay, but, yeah, those are just tools. But, if it doesn't come from a place of living, lived truth,
Yeah,
you know, it's not, it's not going to go.
absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I love having you part of our movement.
I love
um,
it too.
and we're just getting started, and I'm just hearing so many people tell me so many changes, so many transformation in the last few days. It just amazing, amazing. So I'm excited more than ever. So when readiness is honored,
Hmm.
fill in the blank for me. What happens when readiness is honored?
Oh my gosh. The there's the pressure that is there is not there anymore. Like the pressure is losing its grip, and what you become ready to breathe. There's a weight that lifts off of your shoulders, and you can actually be your true self, and you can breathe again, and you
Yes,
can you can actually live your true self again.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So if a teacher is watching right now and feels really burned out, exhausted,
Mm.
and dreading going back tomorrow to work, what would you tell them?
Whoa. Well, I would probably first say, I know exactly what you're living, or what you lived, and I can tell you that there is an open door. There's a door out there that is ready to be opened, and there are people like us that are ready to guide you through those doors to try to see, what brought all of that upon you. Like, what is it exactly that brought you to be, burnt out and stressed and everything? Why, where? Because people come into this profession with a passion,
Hmm.
and where did the passion leave at one point? What happened? And so there's a lived truth into this. I've been through it. I know what it's like. I can guide some other people, trying to find what are the blocks, where is the readiness blocked in all that, and how to break those blocks so that you can get the passion back into teaching. You can get yourself back and find yourself back so that you're actually there for yourself, for your family, your students, for everyone. You're not going to be all in on one side and zero on the other. Um, so yeah, I,
So it's important as teachers, if you're in the classroom, to recognize that sometimes when something's not working, it's okay to say it's not working. It doesn't, you don't need to take the blame for it's not working. It's okay to say it's not working. And you can repeat that again too, like it's not working,
mhm,
because there's so much you can pretend it's working. At a
mhm,
certain point, you have to say it's not working, and it's not healthy for the students that you're serving, or you, or the parents, or
mhm,
anyone involved in it. It's not healthy. So it's time to really look at it from the readiness perspective, because when
yeah,
somebody's ready, they will want to learn. They're hungry to learn. They're intrinsically motivated to learn. They're intrinsically accountable for their
mhm,
everything. We don't need to push and pull and
yeah,
drag them to finish line. They'll do it. So it's possible. So why are we still applying the old way and accepting that that's the only way to do it? And
yeah,
also, if you don't do anything, just get curious about it. That's
mhm,
curiosity is free, just like breathing is free. You just have to start asking questions,
yeah,
and that'll even get you into the onto the right track. Just
mhm,
questions,
mhm,
lots of questions. What's going on
yeah,
here? And also, one more thing I could add is drop the word behavior, because I think we need to eliminate the word behavior, because
yeah,
we're putting everything into that one category as behaviors, and that becomes, when you look from the lens of behavior, then we see like, oh, that child or that person should have behaved better. They should know better. They should
yeah,
try harder, listen better, be responsible, more responsible, right? Like all of these things comes after behavior, right? Because we think behavior is something you can control it, but you're doing it because you want to.
mhm, yeah,
But behavior doesn't come from a place of I know better. They don't know better.
yeah,
It's coming because it's a signal. It's a signal. It's a
yeah,
body signaling that I need help in other areas, and I'm just
mhm,
showing you that I need help.
yes,
So, understanding that part, even
yeah,
behavior has to go, because we're labeling everything under behavior, but it's not technically. It's a
no,
signal. It's a signal
yeah,
with lots of messages that we're ignoring.
yes.
So,
And I
curiosity.
think, and when you're teaching with that perspective, and you teach and you look at students in a under a different lens, you know, so it makes it. There's a big shift.
Mhm.
Like you see a student who's not engaged. Well, now it's like you don't look at it as, oh, well, they just don't care. It's now you look at it, what is going on in the background that brings this? There's a starting point. I don't know how to, So if they're disengaged, it's not by choice. There's something happening underneath that brings
Yeah,
that.
there's a deeper thing. There's a deeper
Yeah.
current that's stirring that problem up. We need to figure what that is. If we don't, then we're
Hmm.
just calling it behavior. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your article. And we will have the link below this video for the article. Make sure to go to that link and put in the word flow. That'll give you access to this magazine as well as the rest of the magazines that we published a year and a half ago. Started. So, and the next one, it's coming out on
Hmm.
in April the 15th. And we will have more about that as well. So thank you, MC, for being here.
Well,
Thank you, MC, and thank you
thank
for
you for
sharing.
having me.
Yes,
and
amazing.
uh, and being part of the journey with you and the other coaches. Such a powerful journey. I'm so excited for what's coming up.
Thank you. Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thanks.